York, there is a 120 million budget cut. There's a 120 million budget cut in New York that is going to affect schools, public libraries, and the police department. Y'all know I don't give a cops, but like it is what it is. There's gonna be an $120 million budget cut with schools, with libraries, and the cops and the police department, and a $5 million budget cut in sanitation. Of a budget cut in sanitation, gonna be drowning with rats. I'm not endorsing no presidents no more. Cause how is there a $100 million budget cut in schools, library, police safety, and sanitation? Yeah, Joe Biden's talking about like, yeah, we could fund two wars. We could fund two wars.
Hello, family. Welcome back to another episode of Journey to Harmony. I'm your host, Richard Harmon. Today, we want to talk about the dire situation that's currently facing New York City. So, New York City has been in the news so much as Mayor Eric Adams, as he continues to speak about the lack of funding that's been received from the federal government. The city has received over 140,000 new migrants in the past year and a half, and they continue to have more of an influx. So as a result, what's happening is that the overall cost of financing this particular issue continue to rise. There are budget cuts that are happening right now, and there's a huge backlash that is going on around the city, which makes perfect sense. Again, there's no unlimited amount of money. With more people flocking in and more resources being given to those who are without, the city's ability to maintain itself is slowly depreciating. I'm going to play a video here. We'll watch a little bit of this, come back and talk about it after that.
I know New Yorkers are angry when they hear about these efficiency cuts. Well, New Yorkers, I want you to know I'm angry also.
Mayor Adams talking about yet another round of budget cuts, 5%, that agencies will have to come up with within the next few weeks. According to this letter sent to commissioners, the city is going to slash migrant services by 20%. That's $1.5 billion. It's, quote, designed to reduce per diem costs and reduce the length of shelter stays. That's a nice way of saying migrants might not be staying in pricey midtown hotels. Are you going to have to close some of the shelters, some of the expensive hotels you're using in favor of the bigger congregate shelters?
Nothing is off the table. Nothing.
And public safety is the main concern at the moment.
But the news of a lot less cops on the streets will do little to calm nervous New Yorkers. Under intense budget pressure from a $12 billion migrant crisis and expiring federal pandemic aid, the NYPD will cancel the next 5 recruiting classes. As retirements play out over the next 2 years, the city will end up with just 29,000 officers by mid-2025. That's the lowest number since the mid-90s, when the city finally turned the corner on crime. Still, it's not just police cuts. Sanitation will also suffer setbacks. We'll see fewer waste baskets around the city, and curbside composting in the Bronx and Staten Island will be delayed by 6 months. In schools, the hiring freeze continues, and 37,000 vacant pre-K and 3K slots will be eliminated next year.
All right, perfect. So we heard it there. So New York's getting ready to have the lowest amount of police officers they've had since the mid-90s. We all know that New York was a crime wave and non-stop violent space in the early 90s and the 80s. And additionally, with these cuts, they're also cutting back the sanitation of the city, which is known for its rats. They're cutting back education systems, which is already considered very poor in local and community neighborhoods. They're cutting back just so many different services overall. And this, as a result, as it's continuing to have an influx of people coming into the city, is a recipe for disaster. With the already negative viewpoint as many have on the police, this is not setting up to have a good ending at all to this New York City system. And unfortunately for those cities around the nation, this is something we can guarantee will be seen in other cities as well. Mayor Adams is facing criticism from whether it's from his FBI probe or from the way he's handling the situation, but for the most part, he has been calling and stating that this was likely a scenario that would happen over time, and the city only has but so much money to be able to balance their budgets. This is what's happening also is that those who are with money, as they see things continue to deteriorate, they will continue moving to the Hamptons, or they'll move down south to Florida or Atlanta and things like that. And more as the tax base is reduced and dwindled, you'll see an even greater degradation of the overall system in the nation there. So with this, we're looking at ourselves and we're asking, how is it that this is going to continue, and at what point do people realize, what, this thing that I'm voting for is not really working out for me? It's still set to see, whether or not people are able or willing to adjust their thinking and say that, what, this particular option that's letting anyone just into the city and paying them nonstop amounts of money. Additionally, we see there what Cardi B said, that we're being told that we don't have money for these services, but our tax dollars are being shipped other places around the world. What are your thoughts on this? Please comment below. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining. Have a good day.